Nelson Mandela was a great man. He fought for equality. He spent 27 years in prison. He became South Africa's first black president. Mandela is a symbol of hope. He inspires us to fight for what is right. Mandela was born in 1918. He grew up in a small village. He went to a local missionary school. He later attended law school. Mandela witnessed injustice. It made him want to fight for his people. Mandela joined the African National Congress in 1944. The ANC fought against segregation. It opposed the apartheid government. Mandela quickly rose within the ranks. He became a key leader. He inspired many with his passion. The ANC started with peaceful protests, aiming to bring about change through nonviolent means. They organized rallies, marches, and demonstrations to voice their demands. They wanted rights for black South Africans who were oppressed under the apartheid regime. Their goal was equality and justice for all, but the government responded with violence, using brutal force to suppress the protests. The peaceful demonstrations were met with tear gas, batons, and bullets. The Sharpeville massacre in 1960 changed everything. Police killed peaceful protesters, shocking the nation and the world. It was a turning point. The massacre highlighted the brutality of the apartheid regime and the need for a new approach. In response, Mandela and the ANC formed Umkhonto we Sizwe in 1961. This marked the beginning of a more militant phase in their struggle. It was the armed wing of the ANC. They sabotaged government facilities, targeting infrastructure to disrupt the apartheid system. They avoided hurting civilians, focusing on symbolic acts of defiance. Mandela believed in armed struggle as a necessary step. He saw it as a way to pressure the government into negotiations. He felt it was the only option left after all peaceful efforts had been exhausted. The ANC had to adapt to the harsh realities they faced. The government issued a warrant for Mandela's arrest in 1962. He became a fugitive, constantly on the move to evade capture. He evaded capture for over a year, traveling secretly and living in hiding. Despite the risks, he continued his work. He organized the ANC's underground activities, coordinating resistance efforts and planning future actions. Mandela became a symbol of resistance, embodying the struggle for freedom and justice. His courage inspired many. He was a hero to his people, celebrated and revered for his unwavering commitment to their cause. In 1964, Nelson Mandela, the prominent anti-apartheid revolutionary, was arrested by the South African government. He was charged with sabotage and other serious crimes against the state. The trial was widely regarded as unjust and politically motivated. The world watched in anger and disbelief as Mandela faced these charges. International outrage grew rapidly. Ultimately, Mandela was sentenced to life in prison, a decision that shocked and saddened many around the globe. He was sent to Robben Island, a notorious maximum security prison located off the coast of Cape Town. Robben Island was known for its harsh conditions and brutal treatment of prisoners. Conditions on Robben Island were extremely harsh. Mandela endured grueling hard labor and minimal contact with the outside world. He faced constant abuse from the prison guards, who sought to break his spirit. But Mandela's spirit never broke. He remained defiant and resilient, a beacon of hope for many. Even from behind bars, he continued to fight for justice and equality, inspiring others to join the cause. The world rallied behind Mandela, with people from all corners of the globe showing their support. Massive protests erupted, demanding his release and the end of apartheid. These protests called for an end to the brutal system of apartheid that had oppressed millions. Musicians and artists around the world dedicated songs and works of art to Mandela, amplifying his message. Global icons and celebrities spoke out against his imprisonment, using their platforms to advocate for his freedom. Over time, Mandela became a global symbol of the fight against injustice and the struggle for human rights. Section 4, Triumph over Adversity Release and the End of Apartheid. After 27 years, Mandela was released from prison. It was February 11, 1990. The world celebrated. He walked hand in hand with his wife, Winnie. He addressed a crowd of thousands. He spoke of forgiveness and reconciliation. Mandela's release marked a turning point. It put pressure on the South African government. Apartheid was crumbling. Negotiations began for a new South Africa, one where everyone was equal. In 1994, South Africa held its first free and fair elections. Nelson Mandela was elected president. He led with grace and compassion. He brought about reconciliation. He worked to heal the wounds of the past. Section 5, A Legacy of Peace, Mandela's Enduring Impact. Nelson Mandela's influence on the world is profound and far-reaching. His journey from prisoner to president is a testament to his resilience and unwavering commitment to justice and equality. Mandela served as president until 1999. He retired from politics, but his mission was far from over. His presidency marked a new era for South Africa, one of reconciliation and rebuilding. But he continued to be a global advocate. He fought for peace and justice on the international stage. He championed education, believing it to be the most powerful weapon to change the world. He raised awareness about HIV and AIDS, tirelessly working to combat the stigma and provide support for those affected. Mandela's legacy is immense, touching countless lives across the globe. He showed the world the power of forgiveness and reconciliation, bridging divides that seemed insurmountable. His ability to forgive his former adversaries set a powerful example for all. He taught us that even in the face of great adversity, hope can triumph. His time in prison only strengthened his resolve and deepened his compassion for others. He left behind a legacy of peace and equality, inspiring future generations to continue his work. His dedication to human rights and social justice remains a guiding light. Nelson Mandela's story is an inspiration to all who strive for a better world. His life reminds us that change is possible, even in the most challenging circumstances. He teaches us to fight for what is right, to stand up against injustice, and to never lose hope. His courage and determination continue to motivate activists around the world. He reminds us that even one person can make a difference. His life's work shows that with enough passion and dedication, we can all contribute to positive change. His legacy continues to inspire the world, encouraging us to pursue justice and equality in our own communities. Mandela's impact is felt in every corner of the globe. His message of hope and forgiveness will never be forgotten. Nelson Mandela's enduring impact is a beacon of light, guiding us towards a more just and peaceful world.